Hi, this is Michael Orl from MobileBurn.com. Today I have with me the E7, Nokia's latest Symbian 3 powered smartphone. So here's the E7 powering up. You can already see the 4-inch display. It's an NHD resolution. That's a quarter of 720p. That's 360 by 640 pixels. It's an AMOLED display, so you get good blacks and pretty bright colors. Unfortunately, the auto dimming sensor always works no matter what brightness setting you work. We work it at. So you might see the screen fluctuating a bit as I'm recording here outside. In any case, really nice display in general. Let's flip open the phone and take a look at the hardware. You can see we've got a 4-row QWERTY keyboard. All the keys are lined up in a grid formation, so things aren't quite centered the way they ought to be as compared to a laptop or desktop computer, but you get used to it pretty quickly. You do have cursor control keys here, which is kind of nice at times. Take a look at the hardware. On the left-hand edge here, we've got a spring-loaded switch for locking and unlocking the device quickly, which is pretty handy. Micro USB connector here on the top, right next to a mini HDMI cable port, and there's a adapter to the full-size HDMI port that I'll show you in a couple minutes here. Power standby switch, and of course 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right-hand edge, we've got the slot for the SIM card because it does not have a removable back, so you can't change the battery or anything like that, so you have to put the SIM card in here. This little device here is actually the volume control, even though it looks very much like the lock button. And here we have the camera shutter button. You might be able to see down here on the bottom edge there's some text saying this is the Nokia model E7-00, where it's made, and some FCC IDs and things like that. On the back, dual LED flash sits next to the 8-megapixel camera, which can record 720p HD video as well. This is the silver model. Comes in a bunch of different colors, like a dark gray, a blue, an orange. All of them very, very attractive. They have an anodized aluminum kind of look to them. Talk about the slider or flip mechanism, whatever you want to call it, for the keyboard. It's sometimes a little hard to grab. It's kind of, you have to almost push it in two different directions at the same time. You get used to it, but it really took me a while to get it working easily, and you can see I still struggle occasionally. Take a look at the back though while it's open. Very clean looking design, really slick looking. Let's see, you can pop it up here and you can see some of the internal hinges, how they work. Cool design overall. Few hardware buttons on the front, just this one right here. It goes into the main menu and drops you back out to the home screen again. Soft keys on screen for everything else, options. You can switch through the home screen panels here. You can also swipe left and right. And of course a call button for bringing up the phone functionality. The E7 is a fairly hefty device, weighs about 177, 178 grams. It's 14 millimeters thick though. Overall, a pretty good size package and very, very attractive, good finish overall. As I mentioned, the rear cover does not come off, so you can't get to the 1200 milliamp hour battery that's built in. That battery is good for 9 hours of talk time or 18 days of standby time on GSM networks. I don't have the UMTS battery life specs here though. 16 gig of internal storage, which is pretty slick, and it also supports Bluetooth 3.0. Here I've got the included adapters and cables. First off, it's just regular micro USB to USB cable for plugging into a personal computer or something like that. This one right here though is USB on the go, so you've got the micro USB on the one side and a USB socket, so you can put a thumb drive, USB memory stick or something in there and access it. And of course this one is the previously mentioned HDMI to mini HDMI adapter, so you plug this into the phone's mini HDMI port and you can plug a full-size HDMI cable into this. The E7 also comes with stereo earbuds for the 3.5mm headphone jack, and it has a clip with a call, send, and end button on it as well. Let's take a look at the home screen. A bunch of widgets here. Some of them will have the ability to scroll. You can move from home screen to home screen by pressing this button here, or you can actually just swipe left or right. Sometimes that can be a problem though if you grab the wrong widget when you're trying to swipe, so the button's always handy. Individual home screens can have their own backgrounds, as you can see, which is pretty nice. If you want to access the widget system, you just long press on the screen for a couple of seconds, and then you have the ability to add widgets, say CNN News. And when you're done, you just tap the Done button here. You can also remove widgets by tapping on them when you're in edit mode. A lot of different shortcuts you can put. You can see one for the Wi-Fi connection here. It's finding the local home Wi-Fi. Different applications, shortcuts to your favorite phone functions, and of course we've got a Mail for Exchange here. This is attached to a Gmail account. Not working that well. I'll show you later though. Calendar data. I've got some Reuters RSS feeds here, and I showed you the contacts and just different apps like the OV Store and OV Maps. Can of course quickly change profiles with this widget up here. If you want to get to the main menu, you just press this hardware button down here. Pressing that will move you back and forth between the home screen and the main menu, or when you're inside an application such as music or the radio here, it'll always take you back to the home screen. If you long press the button though, it'll bring up a task manager, let you see which applications are running and allow you to close them off. So I can close the radio and the music folder, for example, and then tap here to get to Mail for Exchange. Let's take a look at the main menu here. You can see we've got a number of different things here. A little green indicator shows that there's a running application. I go into the applications folder, you can see that Mail is running, and of course it is because we're using the email client. Back here, we go into some of the other folders like Office. We have Notes, Dictionary, Recorder, things like that. The calendar application. Have the calendar populated. Tap here to switch to the views. There's no agenda view, unfortunately. Day view. You can see I'm swiping to go back and forth from day to day. You can also tap up here to do that. When you're in one of these applications that mostly full screen, you can tap down here to get access to other things like data, where you can see the Wi-Fi connection, time, battery status. See 50% battery power now. Contacts application. I'm pulling this in from a Gmail account using the Exchange functionality. It doesn't really work properly. I'm having a lot of problems with Gmail in general, whether as an Exchange account or otherwise, but this gives you an idea what the contact system looks like. Nice tabbed view. Good organization. Of course, photos as well. And of course, Contacts works in portrait mode as well. You have access to groups and things like that. When you're done with an application, you can go to Options here and specifically kill it off so it's no longer running in the background, free up resources. Notice there's no indicator there showing that it's running, whereas if I just do this, the indicator's there because it's still running in the background, so I'd have to go with the Task Manager and kill it off.